I guess I would meet my cue to welcome our board members, staff, and public members to tonight's meeting for November 14th, 2022 of the Sacramento Regional Transit Board of Directors. This is a virtual meeting, and all speakers, the board, and staff, we ask that you announce your name when you begin to speak. This meeting is being live streamed, and the slide on the screen shows the information on how to join the webinar via Zoom. You can also call into the meeting at 253-215-8782, and the webinar access code is 837-938-8162. If you're participating by phone, please push *9 to indicate a desire to comment on an item. If you are joining us online through Zoom, please push the raise hand button and be sure to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak and voluntarily state your name for the record. Would you please call the roll, Tabitha?
Sure will. Director Budge.
Here, and I have a comment. Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Our mayor, who is an Apple user, says that there's something besides *9 in Apple. So perhaps we can ask staff to look that up for Apple users.
Well, I think that's true of the phone, but yeah, if our IT folks can take a look at that.
I don't know. I just know that Donald always says that.
He probably owns an Apple like me. Okay, you're here. Next, please.
Okay, and real quick, can I just have Henry speak to make sure we can hear him?
Okay.
Hey, hello. Sorry, my computer has some issues.
But we can hear you well.
Thank you.
Okay, Director Harris.
Here.
Director Howell.
Here.
Director Nguyen.
Here.
And for the record, Director Nguyen is attending on behalf of Director Hume this evening. Director Jennings. Absent. Director Kennedy is absent. Director Natoli. Absent. Director Chenier.
Here.
Director Cerna.
Here.
Director Valenzuela.
Here.
And Chair Miller.
Here.
All right, with that, we have a quorum at 8 votes. And this meeting of the Sacramento Regional Transit District will be cablecast on Metro 14, the local government affairs channel on Comcast, Consolidated Communications, and AT&T Uverse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and webcast at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting replays Wednesday, November 16th at 2 p.m. and Friday, November 18th at 2 p.m. on Channel 14. This meeting can also be viewed at youtube.com/Metro Cable 14.
Thank you, Tabitha. And with that, can we put the flag up? And once that's up, I'll have everybody join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And with that, would you call the first item, please?
The first item is the consent calendar, items 2.1 to 2.5.
I'll move consent.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve. Any directors have questions or want items pulled before we go any further? Hearing none. Any public comment, Tabitha?
I don't see any hands up.
Seeing none, will you please call the roll?
Director Budge.
Yes.
Director Harris.
Aye.
Director Howell.
Yes.
Director Nguyen.
Aye.
Director Jennings. Director Kennedy. Director Natoli. Director Chenier.
Aye.
Director Cerna.
Aye.
Director Valenzuela.
Yes.
And Chair Miller.
Aye.
The consent calendar passes with 8 votes.
Thank you. Next item, please.
The next item is number 6, public addresses the board on matters not on the agenda.
And we do have any speakers?
Jeffrey Tartagia and Glenn Mandelkern have their hands up.
All right, let's have Jeff go first and then Glenn.
Well, I am down here at 16th Light Rail Station, getting ready to attend the SMART engagement. But what has come to my attention is the intersection of 5th and L has become a very popular bus stop. It is also becoming an increasing driver hazard because now you no longer have 3 buses, but you have YOLO buses all stopping there at the same location. This is creating more than cars that are trying to make the right-hand turn off of L Street onto 5th Street. I believe RT, and I thank you, James Drake, for understanding further about what is going on with 5th Street becoming a 2-way street. That was last week, and I hope some people will be attending the Broadway, should we say, meeting taking place this coming Thursday down on Broadway Street. Yeah, no. So that's my public comment. Please, I don't know what's going to happen if Pat Hume becomes the 5th, should we say, supervisor, or whether he's going to be on the RT board. But that clearly means that someone else is going to have to be Elk Grove. And that's my further comment to be made. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Glenn?
Okay. So tonight, my comments are about the upcoming California Transit Association Fall Conference that is later this week. And I'm actually delighted to see that some of the panels there will feature discussions with members of SAC-RT. Specifically, I saw there that you'll have Jessica Gonzalez presenting on digital and traditional marketing matters. Deborah Salinas is also going to be there speaking about meeting community needs while also taking into account customer safety. And Henry Lee on a panel about defining success in transit through innovation. So I really wanted to wish those 3 people, as well as the other people who are from SAC-RT who are going down south for that. I also wanted to mention that I found something else interesting within the agenda there. Looking at the rest of the conference schedule, I saw one particular speaker who I have found interesting. His name is Patrick Parents, and he's going to be on a panel there called Best Practices in Recruitment and Retention, and it's addressing the operator shortage problem. I found out about Patrick Parents in an online transit center webinar. And what I find interesting about him is that he was a bus operator for 10 years. And he decided to move on to other things. And now what he's spending his time on is addressing concerns for operators, specifically applicants who are a little bit hesitant to become bus operators. In some of the things that he presents, he also points out that the only employee of a transit agency many public people see are the bus operators. So that seemed like an interesting one down there. Hopefully some SAC-RT people could attend that. So in closing, I would like to say, I hope that all of you who are going down there can be a great influence on your colleagues. And I hope that you can bring back great ideas here to the capital of California, to SAC-RT, and consequently the riders. So best of luck to you.
Thank you, Glenn. Do you have any other hands up, Tabitha?
I do not see any other hands up.
All right, with that, we'll move on to the next item, please.
The next item is 8.1, the general manager's report.
Good evening, Chair Miller, members of the board, and the public. Thank you for joining us tonight. The photo you just see from the screen is a picture of our participants in SACRT's new operator mentorship program as part of the collaboration with ATU and California Transit Works. We're excited to launch this new program designed to foster a safety-first, positive working environment and develop the skills needed to be a professional operator. Next slide. What has long been envisioned has finally become a reality. 2 weeks ago, we celebrated the opening of the Wexler Apartments at the heart of our University 65th Street Light Rail Station. The new 223-unit, 800 students apartment building is a tremendous amenity for our region and the first student housing TOD in the Sacramento region. Besides the new amazing facility, this project also modernized our bus stops on 67th and Q Streets and created all new ADA-compliant crosswalks. The station is a major transit hub with more than 40,000 light rail riders and 30,000 bus trips each month. I want to thank Congresswoman Matsui and the SACRT directors, Harris and Jennings, for joining us at the opening, and want to thank all the various partners and staff that helped make this complicated transaction a reality. And in my press conference speech, I specifically talked about there were probably about more than 40 or 50 conversations between Director Harris and me in the whole process to make this project move forward. It's a highly complicated process. That being said, I'm going to move to the next slide. At the beginning of November, I joined Congressman Barra as he traveled by light rail and smart ride to the grand opening of the Rancho Cordova Youth Center. Congressman Barra intentionally located his district office adjacent to light rail so that it is easily accessible for his constituents. He was able to easily hop on at the Watt Manava station and then transferred to SACRT's smart ride at the Motherfield Mills station to take him directly to the youth center. We're also thankful for the congressman who currently has secured nearly $4 million community funding to help renovate 4 of SACRT's light rail stations. I have to say, when we arrived at Rancho Cordova's youth center, there were so many community members there. That is one of the most inspirational events I have ever participated. And certainly Director Budge, was one of the leaders to make that happen. Next slide. On October 29th, Sacramento's first ever Golden Harvest Parade and Festival was held downtown and in Old Sacramento. The event combines cultures from all over the world in a vibrant mix of music, dance, and food. And we hope it is the first of many festivals to come. I was honored to join this great event along with Director Katie Valenzuela. Next slide, please. The election follow-up. As we all know, the general election was last week, November 8th. Sac County was proud to provide free rides system-wide on election day. While we are still awaiting final results, it is likely that Measure A, the countywide transportation initiative, will be narrowly defeated. The measure would have significantly increased Sac County's local funding, but this is also an opportunity to move forward with a more ambitious plan in the coming years. Throughout the last 12 months, we heard loud and clear that the measure did not go far enough to pursue more aggressive local funding in support of sustainable public transit projects that boost the region's climate goals using smart land use policy to avoid gridlock as Sacramento grows. Regardless of the result, there remains an urgent need to increase funding that will address climate, equity, and social justice goals for our community. Onto the next topic, I have been asked to update the board and the public on the status of a safe parking program for homeless population at Roseville Road. On Friday, October 28th, following the Sacramento City Council meeting earlier in the week, Sac County received a letter from the city notifying us that they are canceling the lease agreement. This represents progress of the city's siting plan as they seek more permanent housing solutions or better solutions to address this societal issue. While the site will ultimately not launch, I want to thank the entire board and the staff for working together with many partners from city, from Caltrans, and from others in an innovative and effective way to address the regional issue of homelessness. Then the final slide. As this is the last board meeting in November, I would like to close by reminding everyone that a Sac County annual holiday tradition is back. Sac County will be offering free rides on the Sac County holiday bus beginning Thursday, December 1st, 2022 through Monday, January 2nd, 2023. The decorated 40-foot bus will travel on various routes throughout the region, including in Elk Grove, and Folsom. The schedule can be found on our website. This year's donations benefit the Front Street Animal Shelter in Sacramento. Riders will have the opportunity to deposit a donation in the fill box or scan the onboard QR code to donate. So, we encourage public riders to deposit the money. We will be hosting a kickoff event at the Front Street Animal Shelter later this month, and I hope to see you all there. This concludes my report. Thanks.
Thank you, Henry. Any comments or questions from our directors?
Yes, please, Steve.
Well, go ahead.
So I want to thank Henry for number one, for providing rides for people who wanted to go and vote, and just to add that yes, the idea of taking a Smart Ride to the new youth center is really important. It's in a location where there are huge numbers of kids who are walking down the street from Cordova High and Mills Junior High. And so they can easily walk over. But for anybody who is coming from Mitchell Junior High on the other side of town. That's the logical way to get there. And we really do want to thank Congressman Barra for his donation to the youth center of $350,000.
Nice.
It was a huge project. We are blessed to have a church that wanted to donate the site. And it actually 30 years ago started off as a building as a preschool. It was built as a preschool. And so now we're returning it to kids, and that's a fitting use for this building. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Any other questions or
Steve,
comments?
Steve, this is Don Natoli. I've been here since public comment, so I had to called into the wrong number. So anyway, I'm on good.
Hi, Don.
Yeah, I was going to announce that too. He joined the meeting at 5:36.
Thanks,
Okay.
Kevin.
Welcome, Director Natoli.
Any public comment on this, the general manager's report, Tabitha?
Actually, Director Cerna has his hand up.
Okay, Phil, what's up?
Hey, Chair. Thank you. I just wanted to publicly thank Henry for a recent community meeting that Director Valenzuela and I, with our respective city and county staff, attended, and as well as Lisa and Chris on his staff. And the purpose of the meeting was to have an open discussion with the community and the PBID along Broadway about the city and county's efforts addressing homelessness. And of course, as we've heard from members of the public in the past here at the RT directors meetings, there's been some concern about the safety and cleanliness at the station there. But having, I think, RT in the room, I think really helped us impress upon our constituents that we're trying to leave no stone unturned in terms of all the government agencies and partners that have a role to play in helping us address homelessness, but also, the impacts from people that unfortunately are living outdoors and suffering the way they are. So I just wanted to make sure that I took time tonight to thank Henry and his staff for being there and available to answer questions and engage.
Thank you, Director Cerna. Any other directors? It looks like I have one public comment. Glenn, if you would like to go ahead.
Okay, so my public comment is in regards to what Henry Lee described where he was on October 29th, Saturday. I have to say, in moments like that, it makes me wish that we did have such a thing as human cloning, because some of us had a prior commitment, a prior SAC-RT commitment on that same day during the same time. I participated in a bus stop improvement plan project walkabout over in the Meadowview area, and that was led by the people at Civic Thread, and also SAC-RT planner James Drake was there. It was a very informative, hands-on, or better say, feet-on kind of session, because we got to see and feel the conditions of different places to walk to catch buses, some that were laid out very nicely, very ample, others that need, well, like the title of the session says, improvement. So I had an enjoyable time at that. I think there'll be others scheduled later this year and possibly next. So I'd encourage people going on that. The area we went through was on Meadowview between 24th Street and 21st Street, where we saw 56 bus, the Route 56, every so often we saw it go by there. So it was an enjoyable time, and I highly recommend it. And maybe one day I'll get to go to the Golden Harvest Festival. Thank
There
you.
you go. There you go, Glenn. Thank you. Any other hands up, Tabitha?
I don't see any other hands up.
So with that, we'll move on to the next item, please.
The next item is number 9, reports, ideas, and questions from directors and communications.
And I'm not hearing any. Any public comment on this item?
No public comment.
Okay, then let's move to the next item, please.
The next item is closed session item 13.1, conference with legal counsel pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, existing litigation, Maria Venegas versus Sacramento, case number 34201900268307.
Very good. Any hands up or public comment on this item?
I don't see any hands up.
All right, does everybody have the call in for the closed session? It came in an email this morning. So at this time, I'll adjourn the open session webinar, and all who will be attending the closed session meeting can join the meeting using the link that has been provided. And with that,
Okay. Do you expect a report out?
unless, I don't think so, unless yeah, I don't think there's a settlement or anything like that. So no, I do not expect to report out on this item.
Okay.
All right, we'll see everybody in closed session.
Okay.